Good evening, everyone. I'm just about to head home to be with my little family, but I just wanted to pop on to talk to you about something that I feel is really important to share. Even after 14 years of practicing as a naturopathic doctor, I am still amazed regularly about how much our health can be affected by eating the right foods. Food really is a very powerful medicine. And the 10-day detox, my next round, is about to start. And even though it still includes a lot of delicious foods, if I do say so myself, I do recommend avoiding the top inflammatory foods while people are on it. So those top inflammatory foods include oranges, corn, animal dairy, gluten, red meat, peanuts, soy, sweeteners, and coffee. I know that last one, don't hate me, but it is really a good idea to see how you can feel when you're not drinking it regularly and to know what effect it has. So believe it or not, even though you are taking out a lot of foods, it does still leave a lot of really delicious, healthy whole foods, especially this time of year when there's so much fresh produce that's available. So inflammation is at the root of most chronic disease. So it's really beneficial to figure out how you can eat in a way that puts those inflammatory foods out rather than fuels them. And that's why I love doing an elimination diet. Not everybody is going to have an issue with all of those foods, but you don't really know the effect that they have on you until you take them out and then bring them back in. And I kind of use the analogy, hi Barb, that we don't really realize how noisy a room is until we leave the room and go somewhere quiet and then come back in. When we're in the middle of it, we can get used to it, and the same is true for our health. When we're always feeling a certain way, we don't really understand for sure how much better we could feel until we remove ourselves from that situation and then put ourselves back in. Thanks, Tara. I'm so glad you're watching. So when inflammation is an issue, it can cause a wide range of symptoms. It can cause problems with digestion, joint pain, headaches, sleep, and energy. So those are things that affect so many people, and for sure sometimes I do have to get more complicated with patients and look at different supplements and check levels of things in the blood, but a lot can really change very quickly with simply what we're eating. So that's why I started doing these online programs, because I wanted to have a chance to work with people and give them the information rather than just saying, we'll take all these out and then go home and I'll see you again in 4 weeks. This way I can actually give people a plan, follow along with them, and still not spend all my time at the office too. So today I want to share with you what my top 3 inflammatory foods are that I see clinically in practice. Thank you so much for watching. I'm glad this is such a popular topic, and I hope that you'll find this information helpful. For those of you that are watching this on replay, my name is Dr. Jennifer Hessler. I am a naturopathic doctor and a mom of almost 4 in a few scary weeks. And I am really passionate about helping people to figure out how to more easily incorporate healthy eating, regular exercise, and stress management so that they can look and feel their best. And to do that in a way that fits in realistically into the crazy busy lives that we lead. So the top 3 foods, I'm going to now go into them. Number 1, not surprisingly, I'm sure lots of people hear about this, is wheat. So as I said before, wheat today has changed so that it grows faster, is more pest resistant, easier to harvest, it has a higher gluten content to give it the nice fluffy texture that so many people like. Interestingly, I just spent 3 weeks in Germany and Switzerland, and I ate more bread than I typically would at home. I really don't eat it hardly at all when I'm at home, and I had absolutely no problems at all. Most of the bread was fresh from the bakery in the places where they were serving it. And I've heard similar reports from patients as well that in Europe they don't allow the same modification to the grains, and also things do tend to be made more freshly, so there's less preservatives and things added. So I think that's a big reason why wheat can be such an issue for people. Yes, gluten can be a problem, and wheat does have the most gluten, but I think even more than that, it's the changes that happen to the wheat that cause people issues. So that's why many people will still be fine with grains that do contain some gluten like spelt or rye. The second food on my top list is animal dairy. Similar to wheat, commercially raised cows are given feed and other substances that they wouldn't be exposed to in a more natural setting so that they produce more milk and don't get sick as easily. The milk is then pasteurized, which I'm not saying pasteurization is a bad thing, but it does change the protein structure of the food, and it's homogenized, which also changes it. And so what we end up with is quite different from what the original cow milk started out as. Again, when I was away, I ate more cheese than I normally would. Here I have to be really careful. I love it, but it does give me some digestive issues. There we were eating cheese straight from, they call it the cheesery. When we hiked down a mountain in Switzerland, we stopped for lunch at a goat farm where they gave us a block of fresh goat cheese. It was amazing, and I had no issues whatsoever. So I think, like with most things, the more in its natural state the food is, the easier it is for our body to know how to digest it properly. And the number 3 food is a big group, but it's sugar. It is so easy to eat way more sugar than our body requires. The more we have of it, the more we want it. And I'm sure all of us are aware of that. In times when we do have more sugar that is available, we usually have a little bit, and that little bit quickly becomes a lot. There's a study that was done where they offered rats the choice between sugar and cocaine, and the majority of the rats actually chose sugar. So that shows, not that we're rats, but it definitely has been found to activate a center of our brain that when we have some, we want more, just like addictive drugs can do. So that's why taking a break from it, really cutting it out, stops us from needing to eat quite as much, and helps us to see how our energy can be without that artificial stimulation. So there is still time to register for my next 10-day detox group that starts on Monday. I'm excited to show you how delicious food can still be, even when we're taking out these more pro-inflammatory ones. It's not always easy to go without them, especially at the beginning, the caffeine. But with the support of me and the rest of the group, I promise you will get through it, and you will feel great. You will notice a change in how you feel. It doesn't mean everything's going to be better in 10 days, but you will notice a difference. So at the end of the 10 days, what happens is then I encourage the participants to start reintroducing the foods that they have been avoiding so that they can see how they feel and figure out which ones they tolerate and don't tolerate as well. And I give instructions on how they can do that more specifically. So I'd love for you to join me using the link that I'll post in the comments just after I finish this video. And I'd love to work with you to help you look and feel your best. So I hope everybody has a great night, and thank you so much for listening.